Madeline?
I'd like to add something that you just spoke about. I spoke to the paralegals at a convention in which there were about 250 people on dealing with stress and difficult people in the workplace. And I was told beforehand not to discuss anything of religion or anything of spirituality. So when I finished, the question period began. And the questions were all about spirituality. I was stunned, and I didn't know what to do because they didn't want me to talk about it. But the first girl said, I stand up in the morning in my shower and I ask God to cover me with that water that's coming down and bless me so that I have a wonderful and spiritual day and I can create love and happiness. And I thought, whoa. And so I think that what's happened and what's happening is that more and more people are hungry for not necessarily religion, but spirituality and finding their way. And those that have fallen away, and some will tell you that, it used to be that the story was that if the Catholics could get a hold of you from the age of 1 to 6, you were a Catholic for the rest of your life. And of course that would stand for any religion. But even if it goes away, the first time that you lose somebody that you truly love, if you don't have that base, you will not make it without help from somebody who does have that base. So that is when it really kicks in again, and then from there, you probably will go back to your spiritual training, because that is who you are. And it does get into the bones, and it's there, and it may be or seem dormant, but it will come back.
Thank you, Madeline.
We have time for one more. If anyone has a question?
Question or reflection?
Or reflection?
Frodo, you had your hand up before.
One of each.
Uh-huh.
The reflection is, for me, I think it's possible to hold several traditions at once. And you have to have a center to do that. But secondly, the question for you is, this is kind of a leading question. I think you might be writing something about all this, and I would love it if you would talk about that.
Oh.
I want to second that because we've been bugging her to do it for years.
It's her plan.
Well, I am writing 2 books. One of them is it's finding a room for spirituality in the corporate world when it's in chaos. How do you find time? And the second one is on world religions, and it's a different kind of a world religions book. It's like the Canterbury Tales of telling stories, and it'll have questions at the end of the chapter. And the idea of it is to have somebody say, "Wow, that sounds like me. That sounds like my story. That sounds like where I am." Because we have a lot of searchers who have told me that, like these 60s kids that I love, that had kids, and they didn't have their kids baptized, they had no religion or anything, so they often say to me, I didn't grow up with religion. I don't know anything about religion. And so it's primarily geared for people who don't know much about religion, but have this sense of draw that you're talking about.
Well, we have to do our closing ritual now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.